just want to say thank you, Dean Ward, for that warm introduction. You are going to be missed so dearly by our class and everyone at Babson. Yeah, another round of applause for Dean Ward. Yeah. So today is an emotional day. Has anyone cried over Babson yet? Kaylee, you better raise your hand, I just saw you. Well, I'd like to bring you back to the first time that I cried over Babson. It was 14 years ago. I was in 2nd grade. You're probably thinking, how was 7-year-old Alyssa brought to tears by Babson? Well, before knowing Babson as a college, I knew him as a black lab. See, my sister got to pick the breed of our dog, leaving the name in my hands. Inspired by the admiration for both my parents' alma maters, Babson and Bentley, I simply chose the cooler sounding name. So my dog, Babson, ran rampant with the entrepreneurial spirit. Everything could be rebranded as a toy if it stayed in his mouth long enough. Growing up with Babson meant socks would perpetually be missing from their pairs, and books would invariably lose a few pages. I was often in tears because Babson would chew my favorite objects. My dog thought his purpose was to convince humans that he could assign familiar objects a new purpose. In my dog's view, anything could be reinvented as a chew toy. However, I couldn't see the world this way. Unlike Babson, I hesitated to create, fearing that my creativity couldn't compete with rationality. I was confined by this mindset until Professor TK introduced me to the concept functional fixedness. During our first class, she held up a pencil and she asked, "What can I use this for?" We started with the obvious, like writing, and then eventually ended up on its ability to be transformed into an ice pick with 24 hours and a freezer. Functional fixedness is our ability to not be fixated on one meaning. Freshman year, I learned 2 lessons from the pencil. Objects harbor diverse potentials, and we can reshape our realities. Meanings we assign to the obvious are destined to change. I associated Babson with the furry face and bad breath for the first 10 years of my life. Now, I associate it with cash flow statements and my best friends. For some, stoop might mean celebrating a New Max championship, but if you're an RA like me, stoop might be synonymous with nightmare. A parking ticket may mean an expense, or it may mean a chance to test your creative genius through the appeal process. Fortunately, I have had 27, now 28 since this week, chances to be creative in my parking portal. And fortunately for Babson Parking, I am graduating. And, well, the variables of Babson have changed. The one constant has been, it always feels like home. I recently discovered we only want change when we are the architects of it. One reality I've been trying to change has been graduating. However, no matter how many times I've flagged the commencement clearing process emails as spam, departing from Babson remains a change beyond my control. Change often accompanies growth. You might recall justifying clothing purchases a size too big with "you'll grow into it." What if we approach change with that same perspective? While we may not always steer the course of growth, we retain the power to define its narrative. That narrative will evolve because a perfect fit looks different on each of us. During the summer of 2022, nothing seemed to fit me quite right. I was stuck in an internship that lacked meaning, feeling like I was outgrowing a phase of my life that I wanted to hold on to. Back then, I wrote a poem to help me deal with this sense of change. And now, as we face the transition into graduates, I'd like to share it with you. The notions of time running out can be misconceiving because it's often construed as something we're leaving and not the blank page that we're receiving. Graduation may seem like time's greatest thief, but we can redefine the meaning we give emptiness as a space to turn a new leaf. Not every aspect of your futures needs to be planned, for anything even unanticipated can be grand. Like a chew toy found in unforeseen places, we can learn to embrace the unexpected in life's vast spaces. We can find comfort in the undefined, in the paths diverging from what you designed. But most importantly, we must never give up an imperfect fit, because in time we might just grow into it. And this year, I realized that poem wasn't quite finished, as poems rarely are. So I added this on May 3rd, 2024. To my dear family, friends, faculty, and Babson class of 2024, let us not confine ourselves to one conventional meaning anymore. For anything can be an opportunity, anyone can be a friend, and just like Babson, life has many meanings in the end. The first time I cried over Babson was 14 years ago, and now, once again, tears continue to grow. But this time, I embrace them as something entirely new. For graduation is something Babson has prepared us to do. We may not be architects of life's growing pains, but if beavers can be architects of wooden remains, we can build the lives we envision for ourselves just the same. As long as we use creativity to put rationality to shame, you too can discover there are many meanings in your name. I grew up with Babson, I grew into Babson, and now I must grow out of this dam, but I get to do it with the people who made me who I am. And now it's time to create new meaning beyond Babson's doors. I hope your lives have many chew toys in store. Congratulations, Babson class of 2024.